Yeah, too dark. Too businessy. Yeah, a little too sci-fi. Too hot. Too cold. Yeah, I think this works.
Have you ever thought about
So if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I have a pretty consistent habit of changing my background. But one of the things that I've realized is that I'm starting to do a lot of different types of videos these days. And that's actually something I alluded to in my previous video, which is that right now, primarily, I'm a video producer. And a lot of that video production work that I'm doing is for a company by the name of Delicious Brains. Now, Delicious Brains is a software company, and a lot of what I'm doing for them is tutorials, somewhat similar to what I do for this channel. But one of the differences is that it's kind of geared towards that software and then for developers. Whereas what I like to do on this channel are things more for creators or independent professionals. And that can be a wide range of people, including developers, but also people like artists or like me, people who do video or videography or photographers or a baker or any wide-ranging number of people who really are just trying to build a brand on the web or create content. Okay, so what does that have to do with the background? Well, the background is one of those things that like I said, I've worked to tweak and fine-tune and adjust over the years, and I've always been improving it. But one of the problems that I've noticed is that if I'm doing a video for, say, Delicious Brains on their YouTube channel, and then I jump over here to this YouTube channel and I do another video, or maybe there's a client I'm working with and I'm doing a video for them, or maybe even Notable, or a different software that I'm personally building, and I'm doing all these tutorials and videos with the exact same background, it kind of gets a little bit weird. I even had one person email me a couple weeks back who said, hey, I noticed that you're now doing videos for the Delicious Brains channel. And so one of the things that they were actually confused about was that they had to do a double take because they saw, oh, this is on the Delicious Brains channel, but I'm still using the exact same background on all of the videos that are on this channel. And so that got me to thinking, okay, so what do? Do I just change or rearrange my background for every single video that I do? Or maybe do I shoot some down at my computer setup like my last video and then reserve maybe my studio setup for Delicious Brains videos? So that's when I decided, hey, why don't I just do a green screen? So if you're not pretty familiar already with green screens, they've been used for years in things like Hollywood productions and newscasts and a lot of different video formats. But in essence, all that you're doing to do a green screen is you're shooting with a particular segment or section of the footage that you want to remain visible. And then anything that you want to be cut out, so to speak, you film or you record in green screen. And so behind me, I just have a green screen that is lit up, or a green sheet that's lit up by a number of different lights. And then I cut that out and I replace it with whatever background I want to use. Now, one of the other things that are a little bit more tricky or challenging with green screens is that, and I won't bore you with all the details, and if you want a tutorial on doing green screens, feel free to let me know and I can create that separately. But one of the things with green screens that you'll kind of notice, and even this one I'm still trying to hone in, is that it's really challenging to make sure that you get the lighting to match the background. And this is probably one of the #1 mistakes that you'll see with green screens. And again, like I said, something I'm still trying to hone in on this video. But it's really important that if you have light sources in whatever background or scene or setting you're using, it's really important that those lights are replicated on you as the subject. And so I've actually got a key light. Well, I've got a key light in front of me, and I've got what's called a hair light behind me to help replicate the light that should naturally be hitting this side of my face. It's really subtle, but things like that are challenges that you have to tackle that you may not necessarily have to if you were just shooting in a set that just has a regular background. Okay, but one of the other things I wanted to do, since this would fall under the category of a behind the scenes video, and as I mentioned, I'll be doing more of these in the future, I wanted to take a quick moment just to give you a little bit of a tour of my setup right now. It's still in process, I'm still tweaking with it, just so you can get an idea of what it looks like when I'm going to be shooting these green screen videos. Okay, so here is the setup that I've got going on right now for the new green screen videos that I'm going to be doing. So you can see I'm still kind of using the same desk that I was using previously, and I've kind of got like my laptop off to the side, same chair I was using. So what we've got here, of course, is the gigantic green screen. So we've got one light here, a second light here, and those two lights are meant to help light up the green screen. Now ideally you would really want this to be free from wrinkles and to be as well lit as possible, so I've actually got some new lights I will be ordering soon which will actually help with that. Technically I should probably iron this. That's what I would recommend if you're going to be trying to do green screen videos. But fortunately I've got a pretty fast lens on my camera, which actually helps ensure that that background is blurred out a decent amount, so it actually helps smooth out some of those wrinkles. But I'll be kind of refining and tweaking that as I go on. And one of the other things you'll notice up here is I have this big old light that kind of shines down here as I'm sitting. That's what I would call my hair light. So that's what's going to kind of highlight the side or back of my head and the outline around my hair a little bit so that it kind of shows up a little bit more cleanly and naturally and blends in with the background. So here's kind of my point of view if I would be sitting here. So of course I kind of got my laptop over here so I can read any of the notes that I'm currently going over. And then I've also got a teleprompter. So on this is actually going to sit a iPad. So an iPad's going to sit right there on that little ledge that you see. So I'm going to be able to read right off of that iPad. Currently, of course, using my camera. Otherwise the camera would sit right there. Of course, my cables are a total mess in the background. So that's always a work in progress. And then what I've got up here is the same dome light that I've been using for a long time, but it's just a huge, giant 3-foot in diameter dome light. And one of the reasons why I really like this light, and I recommend it for anybody who does any type of YouTube or face to camera type videos, is because it's so diffuse that it fills in a lot of those shadows. If you were to use something like this on your face, it's gonna do a lot more harsher shadows. It's not going to be as clean. It's not going to be as soft of a picture. So anything that requires a human face, highly recommend doing these dome lights, and let me know if you'd like to know which light that is. I can leave a link in the description. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like I said, I'm gonna be tweaking and fine tuning this. I'll be working with this quite a bit to make sure it kind of gets honed in and that backdrop even gets better improved. One other thing you might notice is that there's a huge amount of this that's just kind of curled up here at the bottom. I actually bought an extra super large green screen, and the reason I did that is so that if I ever wanted to, I could actually roll this out. I could move the desk, and then I could actually roll this green screen out about 10 feet, so all the way along the floor. So if I, for whatever reason, wanted to do a full body, so it was me standing up all the way head to toe, I could do that. Most of my videos are going to be me sitting at a desk with the laptop probably off the screen, but me sitting at a desk with that backdrop is probably going to be the normal type of video I do, but I wanted to kind of keep that option open to me if I ever decided to do, you know, that kind of video. Okay, so hopefully you found that kind of interesting, that behind the scenes look at my current green screen setup. And as I said, I will be going through and making some adjustments to this as we move forward. Now on this channel, I won't be using this setup for everything. A lot of tutorials will probably be shot here. One of the challenges, however, is that a lot of the tutorials that I want to do and I've got planned for this channel require me to have my multiple monitor setup, and so up here all I really have is a laptop. So if I'm able to do a demo that requires only a laptop, that works just fine. I can do that with this kind of green screen setup, but I will be primarily using this setup for anything that requires more of a teleprompter setup, or I'm going to be reading from a script, or tutorials that, like I said, I can just do from my laptop and don't require Final Cut Pro or multiple monitors. Okay, but if you found this interesting or useful, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, and I look forward to seeing you in that next video.